Well, hi everybody. This is Lena, and you're watching Lena's Life. I decided to just make this quick video because, um, while I'm alone here today, this morning, Mark's out at a doctor's appointment, um, and I just figured might as well, as long as I'm here and it's relatively quiet. I just not that he's loud, not that he makes noise or anything. I'm not saying that. It's just, I just wanted to, I don't know, just give you guys an update on what's been going on and stuff like that with regards to my life and my exciting life. Yeah. Well, for the last, let me see, 2 or 3 months, I have been doing, along with Mark, a intermittent fasting, 23 hours of not eating anything at all, and then 1 hour of just eating a ton of food. And we went back to going to being vegan and stuff. And although there's probably some times where we might get something that's not vegan, um, because like when you go out, you don't really know exactly. Like we went to get wheat pancakes at the Adobe Springs Cafe the other day here in town, and you know, I don't know what they put into their pancake batter. I don't know, all the stuff that goes into it and stuff. But for the most part, we've become very selective as to what we put in our body, and I honestly, it's really revolutionized my life. I really don't um, miss food in the sense of like I was talking to my sister the other day, and I said, you know, hey, how you doing? We're gonna have like a tofurkey vegan Thanksgiving, and we basically don't even like eat meat or anything, or we don't really like eat um, other than one time a day. And she I can just imagine probably looked at me and thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know, this person's getting kind of crazy because all they do is different radical things to themselves and stuff. And it's like, you know, we are like constantly trying to become better people and constantly wanting to up our game with regards to how we live our lives and how we take care of ourselves and everything. And my dad died in 2005 and had colorectal cancer, and I'm convinced that it's because of, um, you know, his diet had a large part uh, to play in his later, sickness and stuff. And, you got to catch the warning signs early. If your body is telling you just innately that it's time to make a change, it's time to make a change. I mean, don't ignore your body. My dad actually had a problem with acid reflux, it seemed like at first, where we'd be sitting down eating um, like at a steakhouse or something, and he would like literally almost choke on the meat or be choking, and then he'd like kind of signal us and say, everything's gonna be okay, you know, and then he'd wait and pause and then he'd swallow. Well, his body was telling him even back then how important it was to um, stop doing what he was doing. And that's the thing. I know everybody hears, you guys need to eat better. Oh, you need to exercise. Oh, well, the truth is that if we don't take care of ourselves, our body will fall apart. And what I've noticed in like since going vegan again and eating only one time every day, which is like, what? A person like me who used to love to eat, snack, and, used to always like overdo it with food. I wasn't really much a candy person or dessert person, but good grub was something that I didn't like to pass up very often. But it's like I can see, you know, that my skin is healthier, my energy levels are better. It's like it's amazing. It really is. It's amazing how we actually are able to reverse the signs of aging, you know. And I just, I put coconut oil on my face and I mean, just waking up right now, I'm very happy with how, my complexion is getting and stuff, and it's really cool. It's really cool. So, highly recommend the 23 one. Warrior diet, they call it, but you want to ease into it. You don't want to do it like if you've never fasted before. You don't want to necessarily do that to yourself. But, start by skipping a meal maybe or something every other day or every 3 days or something and see how it works out. See how you feel. And, eventually, you can move into a more advanced form of fasting because it really does help. Um, Another thing that I wanted to talk about was just how I've come to understand that what I did to my family was wrong. Um, I don't know what it is, but I just feel that like I look at old videos that I did back in 2014 when I was first transitioning and stuff and getting my life together and trying to make sense of everything. Um, all I thought about was me. I mean, it's crazy because that is all I was obsessed in thinking about. I didn't think about my family. I didn't think about hurting anybody and the pain that it would cause what I was doing. I just looked out for myself. And that, 5 years later, I realized how wrong that was. I mean, it was wrong to be so selfish. It's never a good thing to care for yourself over the needs of others. And recently came across an old email that my ex had written to me. And it was at a time that I just wanted to seclude myself and to just get away from reality. And early on, I started off just secretly hiding and taking my clothes and stuff and dressing in private in a hotel room. And for me, that was my getaway. And I did it a lot. That was like what I did. And I always ran away from confrontation. And I just looked at an old email that my ex had written me, my wife at the time. And she's like, I know you just like to get away by yourself and you probably don't want to read this and you probably this and that and the other. But we need to talk and I want to fight for us. And it's like, I was just like, no, I give up. I don't want to play. I want to just live my life. I want to do what I want to do. And all along, there was somebody that was reaching out to me. All along, there was someone that wanted to maintain what they had and to keep what was there. And I just, in my selfishness, I just threw it literally all away. And now I am so far removed from any of those people that I've become non-existent, you know. I got my wish, you know. And that's the thing, you know, we hurt so many people in this community. If you're a person who transitioned at the age that I did, inevitably you're going to hurt a lot of people. A lot of people don't want what you want. To be honest with you, a lot of people don't care to have what you want to become. You know, they refuse to accept, you know, what you say that you are. And that brings me to another conversation, and that is this willful forcing of transgender ideology onto the general public. Recently read a story about a trans woman who insisted on dressing in a women's only gym locker room. And get this, I mean, I think about it for myself, okay? I don't want to be hypocritical or anything like that. So I put myself in the same shoes, right? For one, I don't think I would join a women's only gym. You know, there's plenty of gyms out there that one can join that are unisex that wouldn't, like, you know, polarize so strongly, you know. So, for one, I wouldn't join a women's only gym. Um, and two, um, I would never feel comfortable disrobing in front of women in a gym, and especially if you're not, if you don't have, you know, that bottom surgery done, and you're basically, you know, calling your member a female part. That's just not right. And forcing someone to have to see that, you know, women who are, you know, historically affected by male violence, you know, and that part is associated with male violence. I just, I could not imagine doing that to anybody, you know. And they offered this person their own private bathroom to change in, you know, but they refused and they insisted. And so, in their insistence, they forced women who did not want to see that to have to rescind their and quit at the gym that they were a part of, you know, all because one trans woman wants to force their way onto them. That's wrong. That should not be the goal of any person in the transgender community, is to forcefully shove their ideology into the face of the general public. Um, I am not anti-trans, but I am anti-discrimination of other people. You know, I mean, it's like trans people talk about not discriminating against them, but they discriminate by forcefully making others to see and to um, accept what they never will or want or desire to accept. You know, for many, I know this is going to be triggering to many for many to hear, but for many, they see us, they see transgenderism as a blight and on society and a real threat to the family structure in America today. You know, they're against so much of what goes on in the trans and larger LGBT community. Um, you know, yeah, you can love who you want to love, but, you know, the problem is when the ideology that's pushed onto people to be forced to accept, you know, this, like, shutting down of conversations and stuff that's going on Twitter, where a feminist can't say that trans women are not women. I mean, that's their biological, assessment of the situation, and science is not against them. Um, but yet, a woman like Meghan Murphy is banned from the conversation of being able to have, in that it really challenges, you know, what the concept of being a woman is all about. And quite honestly, I can't say that I disagree. I can't say that she's wrong for feeling that way. She's a woman. What would I know? You know, I'm not and never will be. No matter what I want to do, no matter how much I want to be, I'll never be, and I accept that. I understand that. That's my lived reality. If I have dysphoria about that, that's my thing. That's my burden to bear, but I should not have the right to force somebody else to have to see things the way I want to be seen. So this silencing that's going on is wrong, and, making women have to wax a male genital is, and suing if it doesn't get done is wrong. Shutting people's WordPress blogs down like Gender Trender is wrong. These things are wrong, and what's happening is absolutely unacceptable and should not be, limiting the rights of others to speech, to free speech, and enabling the right of yourselves to have that same said free speech is just not fair. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I don't mean to get on my soapbox or anything, and it is going to be looked at as being hypocritical to say these things as a trans woman myself, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel. So anyway, I better get going. Mark's going to be coming back. I need to make the bed, I need to get ready. So I just want to just tell you guys that, acceptance is all inside of here. Acceptance is not based on what that mirror says. Acceptance is not based on what society says. It's based on accepting who you are for what you are inside your heart. Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys at a later conversation. Anyway, have a great day, and see you later.